read this message.
I don't understand.
You don't understand?
Yeah.
Terminal 5 and Terminal 7 is a construction.
Yes.
It's a construction.
Yes.
It's closed for the car.
Okay.
Car to pick up and drop off on Terminal 5 and 7.
Okay.
So there is a air train near the lot. So over there, inside the terminal, inside the airport, you drop and pick up near the air train. So you have to take the air train and then you will go to the terminal. Okay. It's for everybody, not for us.
Okay. I understand. Let's go. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Nemekonyeka Obiri is my name. I just sat and I was reminiscing on the developments in Nigeria. In fact, by the special grace of God, Self-Apco that I chair, has built some palm oil processing factories across certain centers in the southeast. And it shocks me to note that today, if I check me, 65,000 naira, 25-liter palm oil. That is almost minimum wage. And interestingly, most of the palm oil that you see are not original palm oil. Some of them are even adulterated. That is why we are massively establishing areas where we have identified palm plantations to enable us to produce pure and unadulterated palm oil for local consumption and export. It breaks my heart that a country as blessed as Nigeria, that used to control 45% of the global palm oil market in 1965, today we can't even produce up to 40% of what we consume. Our total domestic production is 1,050,000 tons. Our total domestic consumption is 2.4 million tons. I was privileged to sit with one governor some years back, one of the governors of Imo State. And I sat him down. Then the FAC and JAC allocation of Imo State was about 135 to 160 billion naira annually. And I sat down with the guy and we got talking. It was a full house. He had most of his top members' kitchen cabinet. They were there. And I was sharing with them how we can build a mega economy based on agro revolution. I mentioned to them that if they should go back and look at history, Dr. Michael Okpara, may God continue to bless his soul, our revered Fabia. Dr. Michael, within 6-7 years, built 214 kilometer agro-industrial belt from the Erei Palm settlement, 4,200 hectares of massive agro-industrial estate with hospitals, schools, and everything. He did the 6,000 hectares lattice rubber plantation. He did the 6,000 hectares cocoa plantation. Many massive things that he did all on the palm settlement. And I told the governor, I said, Imo has 305 electoral ward. I come from Ihube Autonomous Community, Amagi Ihube Autonomous Community. Amagi Ihube and 3 other communities are within Ihube ward. And between these communities, they have over 20,000 hectares of land. And I said to the governor, I said, there are many other communities that have bigger land. From Bitoli Kedro to Ngobala, so they have 10 times more land mass than Okiwe. And I said to this governor, I said, check your FAC and JAC. What you're collecting is less than 200 billion. And I said, but I want to introduce you to a scheme. Michael Okpara did this selflessly but me, I know that you guys don't want to do this selflessly like Michael Okpara. Most of you are greedy. I was that blunt, and you want something that will always come into your pocket. But let me tell you what we can do to create value in our state. Put money in your pocket if you want to make money and create so much value. I said, out of the 305 electoral wards in the south, in Imo State, we have most of them, 95% of them are in the rural area. We can do an arrangement where we'll get most of these autonomous community or electoral wards. We can easily generate 200 to 500 hectares of land from every electoral ward. Most electoral wards are 4 or 5 communities with land bank of almost 10,000, 20,000 hectares. Okay, let us even start with the first pilot scheme. I give him an example of Como Oil and Presco. Presco, if you check Presco's record, 11,200 hectares of cultivated palm plantation. Check the kind of turnover they did, almost about 200 billion. Check Wima Group, Malaysia. Wima has 220 something thousand hectares of palm plantation plus processing plants. Wima's annual turnover is over $73 billion. And I said to him, okay, if we decide today to just select some communities in the south, in Imo State, and we go on a massive all value chain palm development, I just gave him example 60. If we can just do 60,000 hectares, pick some and work with them. Local government chairman, your local government chairman's job will be to provide the infrastructure, create roads, put security, put borehole. We will help the community to clear the land. Appoint their sons, 200 of their sons, 1 hectare each. And in every of the communities, will not be a cottage factory that can do 5-10 tons of palm kernel oil processing, cottage plant, set it up like that. We ran the numbers. And I said to him, if you look at the numbers, basically, across all the value chain, we will be making almost about 1.3 trillion. Even if we set up an SPV with the community in such a way that the community takes 20%, they are not bringing money just to their land. The community will take 30% of every profit that comes from the SPV within their own community. Self-APCO, which I chair, will take 40% because we are providing the fund and everything. We are providing the basic mechanized equipment. We're providing the input seedlings, the hybrid tenera species. We are providing the processing factor. The government is not bringing anything, just to do the basic things. I said, even you, governor, we can put 20% aside for you. Since we know that, I was that blunt. I said, Michael, I won't do this, but most of you are so rapidly corrupt. We can do 20%. You are not bringing any money, just use your position. I said, what we will do is that in the next 5 years, in the next 5 years, we'll have a 1.3 trillion naira value chain from the palm oil sector. Even when you cease to be governor, that 20% represents almost about 100 billion naira annuality you die, which you cannot make doing all the high blood doing. I thought I was talking to people who have brain. He looked excited, everything. But when I left that meeting, that was the end of the matter. And that brings me thinking, why are we like this? Why do we have governors, local government chairmen, and political office holders at the state level who are dumb, blind, and deaf to reality? There's always this need for us to always point at Abuja. I am not holding brief for Abuja. The problem we have is not Bola Tinubu or Buhari or Yar'Adua or Jonathan. The problem we have is not just the constitutional deformities. The problem is that we have mostly inept, clueless, incompetent people at the state and local government levels. But this is not the Land Use Act. The land belongs to the governors. They have power, absolute power. They don't need Abuja's permission to do what I've asked them to do. To cover the domestic supply gap of the palm value chain, we will have to do over 400 to 500 hectares of palm plantations, 85 million trees, over 1,000 cottage factories, 10 tons per day processing. And we have the whole value chain carved out on how we can do this without breaking sweat. But do you know why we can't do that as a private sector people? The land belongs to the governors. You need to involve the communities, you need to involve the town unions, you need to involve the diasporans, you need to involve every stakeholder. And that is where the governors and local government chairman comes handy. Why the governors are not looking at it? I broke it down to the governor, how he can actually, since all of them are greedy, they are not like Michael Obara, they are not like Simon Bakwe, they are not like Latif Jakonde, they are not like Jim Ngobodo, they are not like Obafemi Awolowo, they are not like Ahmadu Bello, who never looted. Since they are hell-bent, the demons of kleptomaniac is on them. I showed them clearly how they can create so much value and wealth for their community, for their people, and still make wealth rather than stealing money from Nigeria to go to Europe and America to go and buy properties. How they can create lasting legacy, wealth that even when they are no longer governors, they will still be making about 100 billion annually. But the bonus, I don't know how to put it. It's so painful. I'm in New York. Touring the North American cities from Canada to here, trying to see how I can get our diasporans to key into the Agro revolution message that we are preaching, how they can do their own little corner, their own little effort within their own little corner. But the truth is, The only way we can galvanize massive wealth and job creation, the governors and the local government chairman must buy into it. Abuja does not need to buy into it. In the southeast, 2.8 million hectares, 95 local government areas, 1246 electoral ward. We can create one. I'm not saying we can create 50 to 100 billion dollar agro wealth annually. I have marked it out. Me and my team, we've done the numbers sector by sector what we can do. We'll keep on talking. We'll keep on musing. I will pray that God will touch them. God will minister to them, their commissioners for agriculture, those who work with them. We are not begging. Most of us, God has blessed us so much. We are not looking for what to eat or what to drink. We are just trying to relieve the visions of Michael Obara. We are only trying to recreate it. You know, sometimes I ask myself, are you okay? These things you keep on lamenting, you keep on pushing. You know, by the special grace of God, some of us are blessed by God. It's not about us, it's about the nation. It's about Michael, oh God, Michael Obara did not loot a kobo. Michael's name. Go take out time to go and study about Michael Obara. Look at what Michael did in 7 years. And can we beg these governors and local government chairmen to at least, we are not asking them to give us their fuck and jack. We're just asking them to just humble themselves and allow us to help them. God have mercy.